Question 22, part A. Write down the value of cube root of 8. So, cube root means a number times by itself 3 times would get you 8. So something times something times something must equal 8. Now if I didn't know the cube root of 8 straight away, what I could do is a little bit of try and error. So I could say, right, what's 1 times 1 times 1? Well, that equals 1, so that's no good. Let's try the next number. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again is 8, and therefore that's the correct answer. So therefore the cube root of 8 is 2, i.e. a number times by itself 3 times equals 8. Now it says work out for part B the value of 5 squared. Well, 5 squared means 5 times 5, so that's 25. Plus 4 cubed. Now 4 cubed, if I do it down here, is 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Times that by 4 again. If I double it and double it, so 16 times 2 is 32. Times 2 again is 64. So that means it's 25 plus 64. Now it's 3 to the power of 4. So once again, if I do it over here, I'm running out of space a little bit here. So if I do it up here, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And once again, that's 9 times 3. Once again, that's 27. And then times by the last 3, that gets you 81. So therefore I have to do 25 plus 64 plus 81. So if I just use a column method here, I'll just change my colour a little bit here because it might get a little bit confusing. So 25 plus 64 plus 81. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so I put a 0 and carry my 1. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 8 is 16, plus my 1 before is 17, so therefore it works out to be 170. Now I'll stick with the pink for the last question, part C. I've got to do 3 times 10 to the power of 4 plus 3 times 10 to the power of 3. Now let's just think about it logically. What is 10 to the power of 4? Well, that is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So it's 10 times 10 is 100, times by 10 again is 1,000, and times by 10 again is 10,000. So if I've got 3 times 10 to the power of 4, it means I've got 3 lots of 10,000. So actually what I've got in this first bit here is 30,000. Now on the other part it says 3 times 10 to the power of 3. Well, if we look at what we've done here, 10 to the power of 3 is 10 times 10 times 10. So 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 again is 1,000. And obviously I'm times that by 3, that means I've got to add on 3,000. So 30,000 plus 3,000 means actually what I have here altogether is 33,000. Now the question does say give your answer in standard form. Now standard form means it has to be in the format where the first part is greater than 1 but less than 10, and you're multiplying it by powers of 10. So if we think about this now, what I've got here is I have 3.3 times 10 to the power of, now it's 33,000, it must be to the power of 4. Because if you remember, 10 to the power of 4 is 10,000, and therefore I've got to do 3.3 times 10 to the power of 4, and that gets me it. So this first part here, which is 3.3, is greater than 1 but less than 10, and my second part is in terms of powers of 10. So your answer is 3.3 times 10 to the power of 4.